Um, Today I want to read something a little bit different, but I read this to the tracks class so that they can start thinking about making their own books, their own graphic novels. And this Jules Feiffer book is a really good introduction to that idea. So you can see on the back of it, there's the character falling, and on the front, the book is called Meanwhile, ... and it shows just part of the story that you'll get to see. So you can see that the person is reading a graphic, comic book style graphic novel or short story. I don't know what this is called, a picture book. It says, meanwhile, ... meanwhile, ... And it shows us this box that is a pull-out box that tells us something is being said. So you can see, bzz, and right there it says, meanwhile, Jules Feiffer, to Julie. He wrote this book. Raymond! With those lines, it says, I'm shouting. So when you're reading a book like this, you start up at the top. We're not starting on this page. That's the dedication page. But the story starts here in this first big box. Now we go to this box. Raymond, I want you. Now Raymond heard. It was his mother. She was always finding things for him to do. So this is the caption for this. And then we go to this box. One more minute, Mom. Caption, maybe she'll forget, thought Raymond. So when you turn the page, you don't go here. You go to this top box. I want you now, Raymond. So this yelling line is the sound coming at her. And look, he's like, ah! It's not fair. With Raymond's mother, it was always right now and never no big deal. You can do it next Tuesday, Raymond. Suddenly, ... Meanwhile, ... Raymond's eye caught a word in the middle of the page. Caption first this time. It says, it was a word comics always use to change the scene. Meanwhile. But inside a box, meanwhile, ... with 3 dots after it. And what it meant, with 3 dots after it. And what it meant was that wherever you were in a story, just a plain, ordinary meanwhile, was going to take you somewhere else. Raymond, I'm losing my patience. What if I had my own meanwhile? Raymond wondered. With a red marker, he scrawled the word on the wall behind his bed, where he hoped his mother wouldn't see it. Raymond, if I have to come in there and get you, you're going to be very sorry. Dash means she didn't get to finish the sentence. Raymond's mother didn't get to finish her threat. Raymond was on a pirate ship in the high seas. Unbelievable. He had meanwhile. Wicked pirates were boarding a Royal Naval vessel. They were dueling the Queen's loyal sailors. Raymond couldn't just stand by and watch as if it were a picture in a comic book. He clenched a sword between his teeth. And then swung by a rope over the shark-infested sea onto the Royal Naval vessel. He dueled the wicked pirates single-handed and also rescued a beautiful maiden. And the only reason he didn't capture the pirate captain was his sword broke. Oops. So Raymond was forced to walk the plank. The situation was hopeless. Feed Raymond to the sharks. It's not fair. Raymond knew he had one last chance to save himself. I have a last request. That's a rule that you can have on a pirate ship just before you have to walk the plank. It's the law of the sea that I have to grant your last request, grumbled the captain, who had a hook and a peg leg and a patch on one eye, and so did the rest of his crew. I want to write a letter to my mother. But none of the pirates had anything to write with, and why should they? None of them could read. Wait, cried the beautiful maiden. I carry a quill, a vial of ink, and a scroll in my cloak. So right there on the plank, Raymond wrote on the scroll, meanwhile, ... Raymond was out west being chased by a posse. He didn't know why. Maybe because he was wearing a mask and they mistook him for an outlaw. Raymond tried to reason with the posse. Hey, I'm a good guy. This isn't even my mask. See? I'll even take it off. But the posse couldn't care less. They kept shooting. It's not fair. Raymond made a sharp left and galloped into a canyon. ... Right into an avalanche. Lucky for Raymond, he was a great trick rider. He maneuvered his horse to miss the falling rocks. Great. Not even a scratch. Oops. Raymond did not see the ferocious mountain lion. ... Until it was almost too late. He reached for his gun. He didn't have a gun. How could he be a cowboy out west and not have a gun? The only thing he found in his holster was a rusty bullet. The mountain lion leaped. The situation was hopeless. Raymond knew he had one last chance to save himself. He made a mad dash over to the nearest rock, and with the pointy end of the rusty bullet, he scratched out, meanwhile, ... Raymond was in outer space, being chased by Martians. He evened the odds against him by shooting down 112 Martian spaceships. The evil, two-headed king of the Martians got in a lucky shot. Oh. Raymond lost his aft, ... and then his fore. It's not fair. Zap. The leftover Martians zoomed in on him. The situation was hopeless. Raymond knew he had one last chance to save himself. He switched on his backpack auto power vapor rider. Meanwhile, ... Raymond was walking the plank again, but over he went into shark-infested sea. The situation was hopeless. It's not fair. Raymond knew he had one last chance to save himself. He dipped his finger into the vial of ink and printed it on the side of the ship. Raymond was out west again. Boop. The mountain lion gulped him down in one bite. Raymond was swallowed alive. He felt around in his holster for the rusty bullet, but it wasn't there. The situation was hopeless. It's not fair. Raymond knew he had one last chance to save himself. He took off a cowboy boot, and with the pointy nail of his big toe, he carved out on the lion's tummy. Meanwhile, ... Raymond was ducking missiles in outer space again. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that his backpack auto-powered vapor rider had failed. Meanwhile, but nothing happened. Raymond had used up his meanwhiles. Meanwhile. He was falling 1,000 feet a second right toward his house. He was going to crash through the roof. His mother would kill him if he made a mess out of the house. The situation was hopeless. It's not fair. Raymond knew he had one last chance to save himself. He shouted as loud as he could, "The end!" You know that that's a way to make the story end. It worked. Raymond was back in his room. Raymond, if I have to come in there and get you, you're going to be very sorry. Oh, there you are, Mom. What can I do to help? Grumble. A great read aloud, funny, freewheeling, action-packed artwork, Great fun, action-filled, children will chortle. Thank you.